All right. Good evening, everyone. Oh, hey, look at that. That camera don't work. Let's fix that. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm going to fix this camera real quick. Of course. So, while I try to fix this camera here, I hope I can be heard by everybody. Hello, James. Hello, Missy. Thanks for being here. Let's try this again. I don't know why it's not finding it. All right. Well, that camera is no good. I just did a Hi, Greg. Looks like there are other apps trying to open it. There aren't any other apps trying to open it. This is the only app that I have that should be opening it. Yeah, that camera's no good. Awesome. This, again, did a Windows update about 2 hours ago, started the stream up or started the tools up, and everything worked fine. And now this camera just isn't being recognized. And it's not even recognized. Anyway, we can do it without it. You just won't see my pretty face. So, I might mess with it during the course of the stream, so. You're watching the Crow, the original Crow or the new Crow? The original Brandon Lee Crow or the new Bill Skarsgård Crow? So I apologize for being gone for a while. The original Crow is a jam. It has one of the best soundtracks ever. I'm gonna see what else is going on here. That shouldn't need it. Looks like another app is using the camera already. It's not. We'll close that. Okay, cool. Well, that camera's not working. Let me see if the build camera is working. It is. So maybe what we'll do is just for today, we'll just do this. Haha. And then over here, design, we will add camera, video capture device, table cam, just for now. And then we'll make it very small. So, now that's back. This is a very unflattering view of me. I apologize. I'm having to sit back a little bit. The reason I've been gone the past week is Saturday. Let me know if everything else is working okay, if you can hear and everything. Saturday, middle of the afternoon. No, nothing pointed at you. Sorry. I'm just fixing the camera issue that I have here. It's not working out very well. My back went out Saturday afternoon from doing nothing. Like, I wasn't doing anything strenuous. I wasn't like doing a lot of yard work. I was doing laundry, general housework, some dishes. Wasn't a whole lot going on. Getting ready for the meeting. We had a big meeting, a monthly Lego meeting on Sunday. Getting ready for that, and my back just gave up. Like, I was talking to Beth and standing there, and I was like, went to walk away, and I just went, and it knocked the wind out of me, and I had to lay down. And since then, here, let's go back over here and get some images. And nice, 69 people, nice. Yeah, that was impressive. Like, if we keep doing numbers like that, I'm really excited about it. So for the one person who doesn't go to our meetings, we had nearly 70 people at this last meeting, which is just nuts. And it was looking at some of the names, it was great to see like people who haven't been there in a while were there for no other reason than there was a meeting. Like, I don't know if a lot of people stayed later to do the draft, but apparently there were about 50 some draft sets. So, and if most people, I think most people had 2. So like 40 people staying for drafts, that's still pretty big. Yeah, so that's an amazing thing to have. Wow, so that was 25 were there for the draft, so that's an extra almost 40 people there for just the meeting. That was awesome. So, and like I said, I'd love for this to be able to turn into what do you call it? More opportunities for us to do things other than just the meetings. I think it'll be great to kind of get more people excited about doing events and things like that, where it's not just show up to the meeting and we talk for a couple hours and stuff like that. So hopefully we can parlay this into some more local events and not just, rely on the same like 4 or 5 people to kind of get things going like that. I'd really get excited to get more people involved. But today we're not doing that. Today we are working on a Slitherfang. And I don't know if you saw this. I posted this in my Discord. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. I found a video it does these comparison videos of the machines fighting. It's always the big ones, right? It's the Thunderjaws and the Tide Rippers and the Storm Birds and things like that. And they put them in a sandbox together and they crank the, is it an apex? Is it aggressive? Is it defensive? Stuff like that. In Harry Potter, it's the snake in the lower depths is called a what's it called? I used to know this. He speaks in parcel tongue. Basilisk, thank you. What's up, Vab? Yeah, it's a basilisk. And a basilisk is an old term for something too. It's not just, it's a legendary animal. It's one of these like ancient, multiple-headed. You know, it apparently has a hat or a crown. It's a bird-legged beast with whatever. Anyway, so yeah, they just like, it's the basilisk, and I'm like, that's just a giant snake. Anyway, one of the creatures was named Fang. Was it one of the dogs was named Fang or something like that? I seem to remember that. Yeah. Anyway, most of the animals in Zero Dawn and Forbidden West are portmanteaus. So they are Slitherfang, Thunderjaw, Stormbird. There's only a handful that aren't. Like Behemoth is not. Strider is not. But most of them are named like the thing they do and a thing they have. So Slitherfang, Thunderjaw, you know, stuff like that. Anyway, so I wasn't sure about the size of the Slitherfang because you fight it from a distance mostly. You don't ever really get up close to it. And when you do, it's like it would come up to maybe about here on Aloy. Like it's fairly large. But I didn't think it was this large. So this was I found a YouTube video where the channel where this, and I've been watching these for a while, where a guy just pits machines against machines, and you just kind of, it's fun to see who wins. And this one actually caught my eye because I was actually pretty shocked at how large the Slitherfang was. And when we were looking at this originally, I was like, there's no way it's going to be that big. And it turns out, yeah, it's probably going to be that big. So this is actually going to be pretty accurate, this size. So I think we'll just keep this going, this kind of thing. Now, I'm going to have to change this a little bit, but this is a pretty good, you know, the you know, being about as the coil part being about as tall as Aloy, that's going to stay. But, and this just cracks me up. I didn't intend it to do that, but just, this is a good example of defects in when you make a copy of a copy of a copy, how it kind of defects over time. Change.org. What about change.org? I put this together not knowing that they weren't perfectly aligned all that much. I wanted them to be slightly off so I could have, you know, different things coming out of the angle. So I thought I had this at a 45-degree angle, but I didn't, and it turned into this. So I'll probably redo that so it's a little more straight. That's funny. Change.org, I actually am watching whatever your political views are. I'm not saying anything about it, but on my phone, I've got the DNC on just to see who they bring up. We were watching it earlier. Let's see. So, the first thing I want to figure out, because this is a very slithery beast, this is a pretty good image right here. I'm just going to stick with this until we get more closer to working on the head. I think the head and the tail I'm going to leave to the end. What I want to do is figure out a good way for this all to be very mobile, and it can bend, right? So I can pose it. So the easiest thing to do would be to put hinges in here or ball joints. And I don't know how big we can do these. Like, it'd probably be all right to do something like that big and just do a handful of these. Articulate, thank you. Bendy, slithery, whatever. Fab knows what I'm about. So we need these guys. What I need is the ones with the bricks on them. Like this. I wish they made them in 2. Bend it, bop it. So I could do like this, just have 2 each and then segment them together. This may be a little big, and then I'd have to figure out... Nope, that's not what I wanted. You have to do another one. I thought there was a smaller one, but apparently there isn't. So back to the saga of the back. Saturday it went out, I laid on the floor, I was like, oh, this sucks. And I've had that happen before where your back goes out for a little bit. Same as most muscles. Like, oh, my shoulder went out for a second. I strained it. It's gonna take a while. I'll put some icy hot on it. I'll take some Benadryl. I'll wrap it. I'll put it in a sling. I won't use it a whole lot. In a couple days, it'll be all right, right? Well, that's what I thought happened with this, because it felt just like any other kind of strain that I've had in the past. And again, I wasn't doing anything crazy, right? I was walking around the house. I was, cleaning up. It was probably a lot of bending over and stuff like that, but I was just doing laundry. Got a ball and a 1x2 or a 2x2 ball and a hitch. So I'm not convinced on all this yet. I'm just playing around with a couple things. This is going to be very big, and I don't know if I want something that big, but also I'm not opposed to the Mixel joints. So I'm just going to try to throw some stuff out here and see what sticks. Like these guys, right? Might be a better size. Just throw all these guys out here, get a better idea. These guys might be okay, except... And then these guys... I'd have to make sure that I get... A lot of these don't come in a good color, so I'll have to change the colors, but I'm not worrying about that now. Computer 073, yowza to you. How are you? So yeah, sticking with this kind of thing, if I were to just take a couple of these off. Let's take one of these off so I know kind of what size I'm working with. Don't necessarily need that guy there. It's in the beginning stages. I just started this, coming up with some ideas last week, and then I had to take a week off because my back went out. So for the past 3 days, actually I went a couple days, I normally was like, okay, I'll just stay off of it for a while, lay down, I'll put a heating pad on it. But after like a day of this, and it was actually getting worse. Like I couldn't walk. It hurt to lay down. I have a chair in there that's kind of a low slung chair that I could get in and put the heating pad on it. And that seemed to be the most comfortable I could get in, but I couldn't get up and walk around. Like Beth was doing everything. So finally I called telehealth and got some muscle relaxers and some pain meds. And they called them in right away. I was like, because I can't go to a doctor's office right now. I cannot move. And Beth was like, do we need to go to the ER? I'm like, maybe? I don't know. What was the other thing I was thinking of? Toe ball. So anyway, I postponed this for a long time because it hurt even to just like sit here. Like this. Like the way I'm sitting right now isn't great. I'm not super comfortable with this. But, as long as I can kind of keep leaning back. Normally I'd be leaning a little more forward and I've had a better camera, but I can keep my heating pad on back here and keep this a little warm and keep it loose. So we're in a good space. And it gets better every day. So I took Monday and Tuesday off and basically sat in that chair, turned the heating pad on and off, taking my meds, things like that. The other thing that sucked, thanks man, appreciate it, was I was in the middle of taking all this medicine for this really bad cough that I had got. And I had to stop that because the muscle relaxers were going to make me loopy or tired. And the cough medicine was going to make me loopy or tired. And I keep forgetting that camera's not on. That's the one that's on. Well, the problem is neither of them were making me loopy or tired. And I had like a horrible coughing fit yesterday to where like it started hurting my back again. I'm like, that's it. I'm taking my cough medicine again. And they haven't reacted with each other, you know, so it's just like, I don't know. Doesn't seem to matter what I do to it. It's incrementally getting better. The problem is during the day it gets better and better and better. And then at night I go to bed and lay in one spot. And when I wake up, it hurts again, right? So I'm like, do I have to sleep in this chair? So I'm hoping I don't have to sleep in that chair. So if I wanted to do, let's say, because this is good spacing, if I wanted to do 3 of these, let's say, and I wanted them to connect, these guys are good for if you wanted this to be loose. It doesn't. I'd like it to, just because the actual thing does. Most of the designs that I've done, even if they can't move very well, like if you move them too much, they'll fall over. The joints are loose. There's too much weight above it, and the joints will collapse. Even if that's all true, I'm gonna open this so I can close Discord. Even if that's all true, I still want it to have the same, like, I still want it to be built like it has the functionality, even though that may not ever move. So, and that's just for me. I want it to be like, yeah, all these sections move. I mean, honestly, you could have it to where you'd have 5 big chunks, and it would hinge here, it would hinge here, would hinge here, would hinge over here, right? And that's probably enough, right? It's not going to be all that much. But like, I'd ideally like every hinge, every section to be able to move, even though it may not have to. At some point, the head has to move too, so I'd like it if the head could at least come up. This is going to be a unique thing too, because I don't know how rigid this head is. It looks like it's probably enough to where it'd bend about halfway through. Right? Because you see some images where it's a little farther up, where he's looking kind of straight up. Or it's a little more elongated. But then there's some where it's kind of bent over itself, and that's just a drawing from somebody else. It's not really a thing. But yeah, so I want to be able to at least make it so it kind of moves. 1x2 plate with 2 clips is slightly tighter on balls than the old female ball receiver. Yeah, and I don't necessarily want it to not be. I think it'd be fun if it were kind of like, you know, those toys you get, like the wooden or plastic ones that are snakes, and they're very kind of, they're not tight at all. They're very loose and wiggle. I think that'd be fun if that was kind of the same thing here. So I'm not leaving this out of the realm of possibility, because this would be very loose. I don't know that it's got any, there aren't any different sockets for that. But yeah, so this is an idea. This is not, because that's a different hinge. The mixels are great. The bigger hinges, yeah. So the bigger hinges could be like these guys. The bigger hinges would be fine if I had a better socket to hold those in. So if you looked at all the compatible bricks for this guy, it'd be great if there were, like, these are smaller, but then you'd have to connect it to another one. There are these things that are roughly the same size as putting 2 of those together, and then you don't have the ability to like attach anything really to it. 60470. 60. Oh, you gave me a Lego part. Yeah, these guys work with mixels. You can put these in between there, right? Yep. I don't know if that's a very tight connection now. 3640. Oh yeah, that'd be fine. Have these from like, man, I used to have a lot of these in the old space sets. And then you get this guy with it. And then all you do is stack them. Kind of alternating stacking. Like that. Yeah, and they just swivel back and forth. That's very loose. That's undeniably very loose. And that gives you the most space to build on, probably. Yep. Oh, is there something down there? Yeah, so that's a possibility. I had an idea the other day, and I'm trying to remember what it was. There's also the possibility of doing like what's the long ones that you can get? You can get a really long hose, and you can thread it with stuff. It won't. These aren't like, you get the really long ones, and they'll bend, but they won't like, you know. So I could put a bunch of these around it, like that, and it would definitely hold up all these sections. All I have to do is thread this thing through there, and it would hold them together, and it could bend, right? So I wouldn't need these sections right here. You know, I just put this in here. It's not gonna like it because all those claws are in the way. But that'd be fine, you know? The whole reason I have these guys in here is to build out the space in between, right? But I can also just curve slope. Could stack ball joints for more friction. Stack ball joints. Yeah, you definitely could. I like the idea of it having a rotary feel to it and not just back and forth, though. Because if I do want it to undulate as well as, you know, it needs to be snake-like. Just the back and forth is fine. But I'd like it to be a ball joint. So this is a great idea, but I think I'd like it to be a ball joint. Just so it can move around. Because if I'm going to give room to stuff on the circular axis of it anyway to be able to move, I'd rather have it the ability to move all the way around. So how many sections in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We said 16, right? So just remember we've got 16. We're going to start from the back here. We're going to get rid of all that, and we're going to start with this guy. Put a tire where the joints connect to each other to hide the ball joints. Yeah, that's true too. That would actually give it a little more, not stability, but it would keep it from moving like real loose. That's not really anything I could probably do in here. But it would probably be this size tire. Trying to see. One of these is the newer one. I think that's the newer one. Yeah, and the muscle fiber does look really good. That's one thing I struggle with on, so if you put that, like, on top of that. This isn't, it might conflict a little bit in here, but I know it works. That's one of the things that I struggle with a little bit in doing this, is there is muscle fiber. On all these machines. Yeah. Yeah, it will. I just have to remember, I don't like turning off collision while I'm designing, but that may be one of these things where I go back and go, okay, I know this works, I'm going to leave this off so it doesn't collide, so I can continue the build. But yeah, and that really only works with that size. I don't think it'll work with this size. It might. I'll have to play with it. It looks like it will. Right about there. So that may be a little big. That's gotta... I think that's too big. I think that's not going to stretch well enough. That will. Should stretch over that okay. But yeah, I'll play with this a little bit because that is a good idea. That's really going to be internal because if I use this, it probably will be hidden, hopefully, by the stuff on the outside. So if I play my cards right, this should all be hidden by stuff on the outside. What I was thinking of doing is making, since this is all going to be multiple sections anyway. Oh yeah, that's 100% what I do. So if you look at, let's see, let's look at a big one. Behemoth is probably a good idea. So most of this is black, and then you just highlight it with some orange stuff, throw some dark orange on there, and it gives you like the indication that there is in there. More for the coloring than the actual thread part. Like I could 100% do like those grilled tiles in here. But yep, I try to keep most of the interior dark gray or black, and then despite it looking light gray on the outside, it's more white. I try to do everything white, just for consistency's sake. But yeah, so I was thinking of doing these slopes. It's a 2x2 mod plate, I think. No, it's a curved slope. But it's a curved slope with a fin like this, but it's smaller. So maybe wing end. There we go. Thinking of doing on one side this, and on the other side do doing like this. Actually, that would be white. This would be dark gray. I don't think I need the, I'll take this guy out. We don't need him anymore for now. Thank you very much. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Hope to see you next time. I'll be back on Sunday, either doing design or building something. So, again, thank you for coming in. So I'm doing this because if we get multiple of these to get yeah, Sunday 10 a.m. Central. Where are you in from? It said mate earlier. Australia? You coming in from Australia? The UK? So 10 a.m. Central, I don't know what that is in UTC. That's like 3 p.m. UTC. New Zealand. Okay. So yeah, probably 10 a.m. Sunday would probably be sometime in the evening for you. 5 p.m. maybe. Sunday night if you're not doing dinner. So if I were to just do this... Oh, see, collision's off. Why is that not working? That may be too big. Let's get rid of these guys. Oh, it's pink. I don't think that's the big star that's going to be there, but pink is at the DNC, and I think that's what maybe people were talking about. Rail... This all assumes that I can get these two to connect at about this scale, so let's figure out the connection first before I worry about all this other stuff. So ideally I'd want, because I do like the ability to hold these guys in place and use these shield pieces as the outsides of this. The only problem with these guys really is nothing can go over the side. Oh, maybe it can. Okay. So if I wanted to cover these, I could do... Well, let's do that again. That would be great. Oh, that would be neat. This is going to be part intensive, but I like it so far. All right. My only problem is I can connect this one this way, but then I can't connect... Oh, yeah, I can. Don't know why I didn't think of this before. Now I can have 2. Nope. Just want that one. Alright, so these are limited by how far they can go in. What is it running into? Let's find out. Alright, so these claws. Alright, so what I would like... so yeah, the saga of the back pain will continue probably for a little bit. I'm hoping it's gone by next week because next week is TIFO rigging for Austin FC. And I'm hoping that I can, you have to pull ropes, and I'm hoping that I can help with that, because that's what I like doing. I don't like being at the bottom, just holding the net in place. It doesn't feel like it's helpful, but it definitely is important, but I'd rather be the one pulling up the ropes. I think that's fun. There's some Lego stuff going on. There's been some ideas set releases, or ideas judging things going on. I think there was a Animal Crossing and a Mario line that may be coming out. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, Lego and Nike teaming up, and Johnny says because Adidas did so well with that. We got more Animal Crossing. There's a Donkey Kong, a Mario Kart. Oh, Bricklink Designer Program. That's what it was. Finalists. There's a Harry Potter. This actually looks kind of fun. I know I'm not a big Harry Potter fan in general, and I wish Lego would drop the line, but they're not going to. So this is some Nightmare Before Christmas stuff that's coming out. Ooh, Legend of Zelda. So those are good minifigs. But again, I don't know that I'll buy the tree just for the minifigs, but those are fun. I think that's kind of it, really. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of stuff coming out. The big mid-year releases were out. So, so these white spaces right here, this is what I was looking at, but it doesn't look like they're as common. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the Nike partnership. Well, hang on a second. This isn't what I need. What I need is this guy to attach to it somehow. There isn't... socket. Let's just see. This is the problem with the socket thing, is that there's no small connection for it. Like, the whole thing has to be at least this big square, because you need a sturdy thing to hold that in, or else it'll break. So this may have to be rethought. Because it's not so much the strength or the mobility or the friction of the joints that I'm worried about. It's the ability to make 4 sides do something. Pneumatic T will hinge both ways. So that's true. The steering joint. What's a steering joint, Vab? And then put clips on the front of this. So the clips, if I could do this, the clips right here will rotate this way and then the bar will rotate that way. That seems a little tortured, but I guess it's the same. So then I have to get mod plate. Or that plates with the holes in the studs. The round plates. They use the big joints for the Ninjago snakes. These guys. Yeah. But again, to get it rounded on both sides at about that size for this joint, this would be all right because I could put two things right there. But to get something attached to the side, I have to put a bracket. And then see, and then I'm covering this up by doing that. Six two five 2 Well, I mean, this is a good joint. There's nothing wrong with this joint. This works well. I have to be able to attach a whole framework to it, though. So I could do one of these. Not that one. Which one is it? Which one works? That one. That's what I'm thinking of. But this is the same thing. And then I could Technic pin that together. And then... What's up, Johnny? Hey, man, I'm sorry I keep missing your streams. This latest time, no excuse other than, like, my back went out. And I was, like, laying on the couch. To put a bushing in here. Trying to figure out the best way to segment this snake. But I saw the video of it being done. It looks impressive. You must be very proud. Oh wait, that's not right. Yeah, I thought about that too. The problem with the rigid hose, and this is neither here nor there, is it's not completely flexible. It is flexible, but like, here's your hose, right? It's fine. The other thing is I'd need 2 of them to be that length. But I had thought about that. So I know what you're talking about. We do rigid hose. And we do the longest one possible. Right? And then you come over here and you do... So these are all just... We're just spitballing here. And then you get round plates. I'm going to put a couple of these out, a couple of these out, because we're going to need these probably. And then this. And then you can attach these guys here. What's 45? 360 minus, so it's 15. Uh, 270 is minus 45 is 35. No. Yeah. 35 is 40, 35. $305. No, 315. That's somehow not right. 500 foot of black third-party rigid hose. You could have 10 feet if you want. I might take you up on that. Is this all Lego? You sure? You betcha. It's 100% Lego. So yeah, this is another option. And then you could basically make this however you want. Put another one in there. See, this is the problem. Once you move it, it's like, I don't know how to attach because all these guys are in an angle. And it wants to attach to one of those, and it doesn't want to... So there's your base, and then you could basically attach anything you want on these outside bits. And it's round. 99009. Oh yeah. And 99. I just had a bunch of these. What was this? What was this set in? Yep. This was just in... Was it in the Mars rover? I think, for the wheels. Are you doing a Kraken for the thing for the project support, or is this something else you were working on? Yeah, this is great because this can rotate like that, and then that'll be the spinny part of it. It wouldn't join this way though. It wouldn't kind of do that, but so that was another thing. I wanted to do the call last night. I completely spaced it. I'm thinking of doing a 4-plate, and you'd let me know how you think this works. I'm thinking of doing 4 plates, so 2 straight edge pieces, not water, and then 2 corner pieces, so it's like a peninsula, kind of, right? Or not a peninsula. Yeah, like a peninsula, like it's jutting out. Because at the end, I want to do a lighthouse. So I'm going to take my Mars tower and just repurpose it as a lighthouse. I was thinking about doing a combination lighthouse windmill. And I've been going over in my head how to do the gearing for the windmill because I want to do a specific kind of windmill. I don't want it to just be a three-pronged traditional Holland windmill kind of thing. I want it to be that kind of wraparound one that you've seen. But in order to do that, the central axis that you motorize has to be exposed so you can attach stuff to it. Now, the parts that aren't attached to the things that attach the wind blades to or whatever, you can cover those on the axis. But once you get to the top, you can't really build on top of that axis. So I can't put a lighthouse on top of that. So I'm trying to figure out ways to do that. Yeah, so like and then there's water around 3 sides of it, and then I can attach to part of the town on the other side. So there'd be like, on the part that's more attached to the thing, there would be a building that's like a house. And then maybe it's 2 different things, like a windmill on one and a very tall lighthouse on another one, maybe. And then have like one motor driving both of them. So you could have, you know, the axle running this way, and then it spins up for the windmill, and then it spins up for the lighthouse motor too, or the lighthouse light. And then I'll have to learn how to do electrical to run something up through a slip disc. So the wheels, I was going to talk to Tim, but he doesn't live here anymore. I bet I could find him online, or email him about how he worked out his, merry-go-round. His, what's the other word for merry-go-round? Yeah, merry-go-round goes one way, and my brain is shot. So anyway, that's the carousel. Thank you. I knew it started with a C. That's my plan. So I wasn't real specific about the parts I wanted, because I'm like, I didn't pre-design anything. This may be something I kind of build as I go. I want to see if I can do that, except for the motor part of it. I'm just going to encase that with kind of like whatever around it. My common piece was, or my personal pick piece was a 1x2, the pill tile in gray. I think Benjamin Hoos nominated that, and he hadn't put it on his thing yet. So I was like, I'll take that as my, and I would definitely buy 250 of those, because those could be used for lots of stuff. But I thought of using that as stonework for like the tower of the lighthouse. I think that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So that was my plan. So I'm probably in for at least 4 bases, 2 bases, 2 corners. And then probably like a handful, a chunk of like ornate stuff and brick building, house building stuff. So I'll take a look at the list. Mine is going to be build as you go. Yeah, same. I don't really, like, I've got a kind of a nebulous mental image of what it'll be, but... so anyway, alright, let's save this. I don't know who this person speaking is. Might be Kamala's husband. This is definitely a good way to go if I can figure out how to attach. Because then from here, all the internal stuff you can attach claws, you can attach all kinds of things. You can attach plate round. There's a 5-piece plate round thing that's a Technic plate that should have a hole in the middle of it. Technic plate. This one, you can use this for a lot. If you wanted to attach things to it. A fact check stream for the DNC. So now, let's say I got multiples of these. So I've got a couple of these, and I wanted to space them out about yay far apart. Let's Let's say that's about the segment width I wanted, because this was pretty good. That and that. And I'll have to go piece by piece, but let's say it was about that. This is 3. I still like these a lot. If I can figure out how to... Oh, Vab is sending me screenshots. Ooh. Oh, that's so dumb. That's so simple. That's so... Oh. I'm so out of practice with this. Yes, that's absolutely right. So if we were to take this... Such an idiot. And it's a 3-bar, right? You almost don't even need... I need to move these out. This is... Everything's in the way. I'm not using these. I'm not using those. Probably not using these. These are extra. Okay, just get rid of all this. Don't let me forget about the tire, just in case. So I feel like I could put tires around things and it would look cool. And nobody needs tires anymore. So... And Aloy, you're in the way. Keep that one. Four bar. See, now when I post this on sites everywhere, I'm gonna have to say credit to Vab. Just like when I do the rock breaker, I'm gonna have to credit James with that awesome build technique. You almost don't need the other parts. This is just for stability's sake. And I realized I said you almost don't need the other parts. I almost want to put this on here first, because Studio doesn't like it. And then, yeah, these guys... Clunk. So what is the spacing on this now? If we do... So I don't want these now. So I do another... I want to get rid of that too. It's pretty far apart. But yeah, that's really far apart. Is that the way you had it set up? Yeah. Right. I do need the spacing in the curve, but this is a lot. Like, I was kind of thinking that... Oh, the problem is, like, I can't... So 16 of these is going to be immense. Let's look at... Did I have a good picture of how I came up with 16? I think it was a search, or I think it was a somebody had a model. It's probably one of these ArtStation ones that are like, yeah, we've recreated it on our own. Which means it's probably one of these. And I just have to go find the rest of them. I wish he had these tagged. This is a clamber jaw. This is another portmanteau. Clamber for climb because they're monkeys, and jaw because they're like baboons. That's a Skydrifter, Deathbringer, mature content. Alright, well. At some point I saw an image where it looked like there were 16 sections, so, or maybe, here we go. This may be it. So yeah, so here's my thinking. Alright, I gotta turn this heating pad on. Heating pad has an auto off, that's good. Probably need to turn that back on in a little bit. We said, okay, here's the tail, here's the head. So behind the head, let's say that's the head right here. We decided there was 4 sections, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, like kind of 4 sections in between each, making the 16, and then you start the tail. So if I was doing something like this with that, see, the problem, it's all well and good to do these things programmatically, visually in a video game, because you can get away with clipping and you can get away with the physics not really working too well, and you can just make up materials. Like, I'm guessing every bit of this material in here is somehow softer than it needs to be, or it's so segmented that it all just kind of bends. It's all like Michael Bay Transformers, where there's a million pieces in there and it all just hinges together really nicely. And I've got a scale of about that big to be able to mimic that. So if I were to do this 16 times, let's just see how big that is, because that's gonna be massive. But I mean, yeah, it leaves room for that. So here's 4. And there's going to be areas in between that are not part of these segments. There's going to be these bits, right? So here's our 16. And that's straight. That's not all twisty like I had it last time. So then we still have the head and the tail. But again, curled up. Probably wouldn't be too bad. So this is probably a good, let's get rid of all the rest of this, because this is a good idea too. This is a little more... I don't know. I'm not, like, I like it. I'm trying to visualize how big this is going to be. Because, okay, so we've got our figure here. And what does the model length say so far? Model info. So far it is 26 inches. I don't have a ruler in here. Do I have my tape measure? Man, I'm glad tomorrow's Friday. Not like I've been doing anything the last 2 days. Oh, I started and finished, since I've done this, a game called Dead Space. I think it got pretty popular for a while. Ow. Oh yeah, and you can see all the way over there now. You just watched me walk all the way over there. Forgot that this camera's watching that. Alright, so here is 26 inches. My clip has never really worked on this tape measure. My lockdown, it only like partially locks down. It doesn't completely lock down. So 26 inches, just the body. This is without the head and the tail. And here's your minifigure. So I know it's hard to see on the screen, but this is kind of how big it'll be. Now it'll be curled around, right? So it'll be kind of like curled up, and then it'll have a tail, and then it'll have a head poking up. So it won't be like super huge, but it will definitely be big. And I don't know if it'll be... Where's the one image I've got of these two guys together? This one. So yeah, I can see that, it being like super immense. That's probably not a problem. Yeah, I'm turning the heating pad back on. If I can stop running over the cord. Okay, well, let's go with this, just for now. This is a good idea, Vab. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who's offered ideas so far tonight. It's been fun. So, if we were to take one of these sections, and I think we can probably... so there's a head, there's a big section, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's almost like then there's like a fifth section here that's a big blade thing. So this is going to be more like 1 through that, 1 through that, 1 through that, 1 through that. So if we add another 4 onto it as big blade things, it's one more section. So this would be 20. I'm putting this guy back in here because he is one of the bigger models that we've got. and I want to make sure this kind of is still in scale. So like if we were to bend this guy all up, it's probably good, man. All right. So now we have to kind of hide all this other stuff. So I still like these guys. Ooh, we've got some like prog rock going on in here. Alright, so let's minimize this because I don't want to have to copy this a bunch of times. Let's keep 4 of these for now. But I didn't keep 4 of these, I kept 3 because I cannot count. I'm gonna keep doing this all over again. So let's do this. I don't know why that didn't line up. Oh, I had moved these guys out to get the bar in, that's why. So... I have a stupid idea. We're gonna see how well this goes. This guy doesn't have a lot of the sort of muscly, sinewy, orange muscle fibers in there. Okay, you know what? Don't work. What do I care? Very, very picky. So here's the thing. Here's what I want to do. That's good coverage there. That's not 100% good coverage. What is going on with this? Okay. So this has got places to attach stuff in here. That's a little farther out than I thought it would be. Can that actually go in there that far? Oh, here's what I wanted. I should get rid of all this, honestly. I need to work on one section and get it right and then copy it. Yeah, it does look complicated. I'm going to build this 16 times. Not going to be easy. But the instructions will be simple. Just build this 16 times. But I mean, that's what we're building here, is you got to build something 16 times. I like abusing myself. Hey man, if it's not complicated, I don't want it. If it doesn't make people go, wow, there's really better ways to do that. So let's hide this, and then I want to bring each of these a little closer in. Nope, I didn't want to do that at all. Well, I was hoping by hiding it that I could... But I guess not. Alright, so this should be good for... all these guys now. If I hide this, they should all be touching in here. Close enough. Alright. Then you just have to remember the 16... Yeah, unlike I do when I'm building regular Lego models, is I forget the two... Do this 2 times. Never remember that. I get to the end of the first row, go, I'm done. 16 more! So, for Vab and Johnny, who weren't here, who are in not Austin, we had a draft recently. I think you guys will appreciate this story. Had a draft recently. I don't need this. And, our lug had the Asha's cottage from... I don't even know what it's from. It's a Friends line set, but I don't think it's like Friends Dreams or anything like that. I think it's its own just whatever. And it was like $20 on Amazon. So we alerted the lug, and everyone went out and bought a couple. And then, you know what I could do right here? And then we had a draft for it. Well, the meeting and the draft were right as I was... This is going to be how big this is going to be. This is going to dictate it. I want this to be this far apart. So this is how big that's going to be. But I wanted these to be rounded. There we go. Dark orange. I don't think there's any... There may be a little bit in here of like the muscle fibery things, but I think for the most part they're covered. Oh, there's some. So this will dictate, like, if they are that far apart, move this out so where those... I can't just slide this out nicely, huh? Where these are... like that. That may be too much of a gap, but we'll see. Put all these together. So we did the draft, or the draft was held, and I wasn't able to go, so I was like, I've got these sets if anybody wants them, and a friend of mine messaged and said, if you give me a parts list, I will try to get those parts for you. And I was like, oh, that's really nice. So I went on Bricklink, and I kind of made a want list of the things that were in the set that I was like, well, I could probably use these, you know, for building spaceships and things like that. Come on, man, just be nice. Okay. And then this guy has to go down a little bit. So he was very cool to set that up for me, and he came by and he got all the pieces, or all the loot sets that to give out at the meeting and whatnot. Okay, that's pretty cool. And he took those, and then I sent him an XML of the wish list so he could kind of see what was on him. And I don't think he... I don't know if he like looked at it. He didn't give a response that he got it and everything. But he's pretty savvy, and he's got his own Bricklink shop, so I'm sure he knew how to work it. Oh, I don't think there's going to be enough room for that. So they do the draft, and he brings the stuff back, and I get some pieces. And they're not great pieces, but when you do a draft, you're going to end up with a lot of garbage, right? And it's always the last little bits of, like, everybody gets some Technic pins, everybody tries to get at least one of the figures. Somebody's going to end up with the instruction booklets or the brick separators. And guess who ended up with the instruction booklets and the brick separators, as well as none of the pieces I asked for, right? I was like, oh, all right. And apparently he was kind of joking that he's just going to pick whatever, and he's just going to be like, yeah, he'll be fine with this. If it was like a garbage piece or something, there's like, yeah, he'll be fine with this. Some good stuff. Like I was going through and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. But like none of the ones I had set aside. The ones I had set aside were pretty good pieces though. And I have a feeling that a lot of people were going for those. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. But all those instruction booklets it was like 500 insider points once I scanned them all. And I did scan them all. You're going to give me instruction booklets. I'm going to scan them all. So I had this idea. See, there's still going to be a gap in here, and I don't know how to deal with that. I got another. Let's check. Ooh. Look how fancy. That's pretty fancy. That's a lot of pieces. Imagine doing that 16 times. That's pretty wild, man. So then here's the question. How do you join these two sections together? Because this is great for like one joined piece, but then you've got to join that to more of them. So are there? Oh, I see. You rotate it and then, gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha. That's pretty good, actually. And then if there's enough room. I'm gonna do this in the software real quick. This was what 99010 or whatever. These two guys. So they're not as big. This would be smaller, and it'd be a joint. The only problem I have with this, and I'll tell you, is it's going to be harder to attach things to it because it's so Technic based. But let's put it together and see what it looks like. So you have a lift arm, a 3 lift arm, and you've got some Technic pins, the 3 long ones. Technic pin. Stupid software. This guy, whatever tan is, yeah. I don't think this one. I think this comes in just, yeah. I think those are expensive though. But anyway. All right. So and then you've got. You've got a connector, Technic, connector. You've got this guy, and then you've got, should be in here. This is a axle. That guy. It's all right. these two guys go together. These guys go here. And then basically you repeat that. I want to repeat this, for here. Okay, so should be able to just copy. So we're doing this. So the joint for this is not going to be the swivel right here, and then the bend will be offset a little bit. It's not going to be a ball joint, but they'll be pretty close together. These turntables need to be gray, dark gray. Nope. Black, which is fine because black is a good color. Can these be anything but that? Nope. Okay. These guys can be part type. These guys can actually be. That's pretty cool. Sorry, my camera's right in the middle of the screen. So let's just make these black for now. And then these guys, whatever is cheapest. I think these guys are most, it'll say, because they'll be hidden for the most part. Whatever this says, color-wise. For now, it's one of these where I don't care what those are because they're going to be so internal. All right. So, the 3 long Technic pins are in black too. Yeah. Technic pin. I think these can be, there's 2 different kinds. I don't know which one's more, I know the ones with friction ridges and without friction ridges. These can be in black, but I don't know which ones are more expensive or not. I probably have a million of these anyway, so. But this lets me see it for now. At least I can see what's going on. So here's the thing. This is the size that I like. So we're going to have to start attaching things. There are these pieces, but... And they would give me... I don't know why you're not letting me do this, but... Should be able to go all the way through there. That did. To have this flipped somehow? Yeah, any bar will go through that. But if I'm trying to make it a little wider, my concern is the connection points are weakness here. These guys, right there, because they can just pull apart. You can also do forearm bar. I don't think this is going to be big enough, but maybe. These should be hollow all the way through. Because what I want to do wait a minute. Yeah, there we go. Is now you can do the round plate. And start attaching stuff. On the outside, plates and whatnot. These bars might get in the way. But I don't think 3L bars would be long enough. Because I think they're just as long as the pins. Oh, here's something. That wasn't on there right. That's how it should be on there. I don't know why that wasn't... oh, because the collision is on. See, if my collision was on, it would have told me that I didn't have those on right. There we go. That's better. Now those aren't in the way. I was like, there's no way. So anyway, that should work. Any collisions over here? Nope. Okay, cool. So now if I wanted to start attaching things on it, I would have to do maybe some brackets to get over this side. I can't have anything cross over here because this twists. This will twist. Of course. That doesn't fully attach. And you should be able to twist from that. Yeah. So I wanted to, like, do that. And then this bends up and down here. So, it's not a bad solution. Cross is only if you want to be static. Cross only if you want to be static. I don't know what that means. Cross only if you want to be static. Oh, yeah, like you can't go across there unless you want it to not twist. I understand. Okay, I got it. Got it. Yeah, so these will all be independent. These all have to be independent of each other now. Which kind of defeats the point of the turntable if you build across it. And if you build across from this to this, you lose the hinge section. But you can build across if you... this won't hinge. So you can go from that bar to that bar. So if we were doing... let's see if I can grab all these. So if you were wanting to build across this, I don't know that this will fit, but yeah, that works. That'll be, you can still hinge off that. So that you can build across. Oddly, a pretty good fit. Like the math works out there. And then to build over these two things, you just have to like kind of just build it out and keep it from twisting. They just have to be blanks. So the other thing is to make it roughly that same size as we had it over here. So it's almost there. We're pretty close to being that size. These can definitely be cheaper in a different color. These black. What can these be? What's a good color for these? I guess reddish brown is the cheapest for that. So let's see. There's not that one. There's these. That'll give you the opportunity. Which then you can kind of shore up by covering again with something here. I don't think there's another stud worth of stuff in there. Yeah, that's going to be an odd size. But so at this point, I'd want to start building it out. I still like these guys, so I'm wondering how. Now these guys may be a problem. Let's see how well it looks on repeat. Problem is to be able to get it repeated across the whole thing. But don't have to now. Oops. Because now we can do things like stick one of these here so I kind of know that we're building the other way too. I don't want to build like a ton of stuff out. I just want to be able to make sure that if it repeats, I know that it can repeat multiple times. I mean, at this point, it's pretty good size. This whole thing of it being twisted is bothering me. There we go. That's a little better. I don't know why I'm lining this up like this on my own, but I like the size that I established here. I'm trying to keep it. So if that's pretty much just now putting these things back on. Slope. So we got about 10 minutes left of the stream. Does anybody have any fun things they got going on this weekend coming up? Tomorrow's Friday. Anything fun on your weekend plans? So because the internal part of this I can't really change from that color, I think I'm gonna make the I think I might make this white. Plate. Any movies you want to see? Anything like that coming out? We just watched Passengers with Chris Pratt from 2012. Oh, How was it? That popped up on my list, and it was kind of like, I heard this was both good and terrible at the same time. I'm also kind of a little down on Chris Pratt, but that's fine. I like Jennifer Lawrence. So, let's see. Romance sci-fi almost went cable guy. Working a lot of disassembly for peroxide bath for a brick Erie at the end of September. Yeah. I luckily was able to finally finish doing a soak on the Sydney Opera House, and that took a while, but I was able to finally get it. It had to have been about 10 peroxide baths just for the amount of pieces, and like 1 or 2 days each. But it turned out good. I got some good trade in. If I'm not building on top of this with these, I might not need them. Wouldn't watch it again. I've been watching a lot of sci-fi lately that I wouldn't watch again. Again, I played the entirety of Dead Space, and I think a friend recommended another. I'm gonna check this out real quick. Somebody posted something. This is our like local friends group. What is that? Secret level. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was looking for more like sci-fi games, other games to play, and somebody recommended Dead Space. And so I watched that, or I played that, and it was about 12, 15 hours. I played it while I was doing nothing, sitting around. I watched so much West Wing and played so much Dead Space. I beat the game. I didn't go through all the side missions, but I got through the major story points. It's fun. It's a pretty typical haunted ship story, but I liked it. Those aren't going to be able to move if I put anything on them. Yeah, these I can't. Dang it. These won't rotate with these on them. So I've got to get rid of all that. All this. Nope, that was fine. But all these guys can't be on here. Unless I get rid of these things that bridge across. Which might be okay. So let's get rid of these guys. Actually, let's... Oh, I went too far back in the history. Nope. Because there's a joint in here. And it's fine if these are round plates. But then I can't put any brackets on these to build around them. Ugh. You know what? I think I'm going to call it a night. You have a baby shower going to this weekend, no other plans. I would recommend not hurting your back. And I had to call into work twice, Monday and Tuesday. And today I'm okay to work because I can sit. Like I can do this for a few hours. But like the chair in my office is not awesome. And I can't hold a heating pad on it. I have to like sit back against it. And it just starts hurting after a while. So I have this comfortable chair that I've been sitting in. Anyway. Yeah, thank you for all the insight and all the input. This was a lot of fun learning some new things. $69.90 was the set. What set? trying to turn you back. Wasn't 6990? Isn't 6990 the monorail? You should be able to do that in here too, I think. So you're in text log. If you do this set 6990. Oh man. I go 6990. Yeah, I was gonna say 6990s. That's the one set number I know, and it's the monorail. So I have all these pieces somewhere, including the white hoses and the motor and the battery pack and all the track and these shells. I may not have all these like plates and stuff, the originals, but I didn't get rid of any of them. You only paid $100 for it? Wow. Was it like, I'm assuming it was used and like in mostly, did it have all the pieces? That's pretty rad if that's the case. This is the set that I think I got this as a kid, and this is my parents saying, now this was a $200 set. Are you going to play with it? I'm like, heck yeah, I'm going to play with it. So, and I've rebuilt it many, many times since then, and I bought the extra track pieces for it, and a Euro plug, nice. All right, y'all. Well, this was fun. I will be back Sunday. I don't think I have any plans, and I think what I want to do is I think we'll build this guy on Sunday, and then we'll get back into working on some design stuff on Thursdays. If I get enough sets to where I can do build Sundays, design Thursdays, we'll maybe split that up, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, thanks for all the input. Not 100% on either of these. I'm not opposed to going with the tube as well. I think that's probably, it won't be as flexible, but it might be easier. But yeah, so take care, everybody. We'll talk to you in a few days. Again, Sunday at 10 a.m. Central. And have a good weekend. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh, camera over here. Bye.